everybody. That right over there, that is going to be your good friend Jimbo, me, myself, and I am your boy King, and welcome to Stay Tuned Sports. This is the first live one we've done.
This is the first live episode, not a watch along or anything like that we do.
First live Stay Tuned Sports podcast, the main show here on YouTube. Exciting! I'm excited for it, but you got to do something special. You got to do something special when it's the NFL season, and it's right here. We're ready to go. It's tomorrow, Jimbo.
It's, 27 hours maybe?
We're roughly, because it starts at 8, correct?
Yeah.
8-ish. It'll be 8, and we're like 8:15. Let's say 8:15.
Yeah.
So we'll say 8:15, so that's what, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So 28 hours, 45 minutes, somewhere around there. So, but listen, it wasn't that long ago. We were talking about 28 days.
Yeah.
And then we were talking like 78 days. I mean, we've been counting it down for a while. So it just feels good to be here, you know?
Yes.
Yesterday we had our show, our countdown Friday forecast mashup, where we revealed who our number one overall power ranked team was. I don't think it was a surprise there. With the Chiefs. And then we had our reveal of our predictions for the NFC East, which I'm going to be honest. I was not. I don't think yours didn't surprise me. And the only thing that surprised me about you is where you had the Giants. I thought you'd have the Giants lower.
Yeah. And again, like I said, how I got their record was I just went through their schedule, who I thought they could beat with that team that they put together in the offseason, and it just worked out that way, I guess. Obviously it did.
I think I surprised you with how low I had everybody in the NFC, even though I had your Eagles winning.
Yeah.
But you guys are winning the division at 9-8, so
you basically have us as like the Seattle Seahawks a few years back at as a 7-9 team for a 17 game schedule.
Kinda, yeah. Except I also have the Giants making the playoffs too at 8-9. So it's a division that's not great, but it's still sending two teams because I don't think the NFC is good this year. I don't know. And coming to the conclusions there of going on the week by week picking status. That's the thing. When most people do these, they're picking. They're thinking of a number in their head. I think this team can be a 11-win team. I think this team is a 9-win team. I think this is clearly a 14, 15-win team. I think this team is, whatever. This year I went differently, and I said, let me find that website that gives you the cool stuff where you can kind of pick week by week and see how you're going. And I picked week by week based on who the matchups were, who I thought was going to be there. And again, once you get halfway through the season, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Because who knows what the injuries are, who knows what anything else happens. Maybe a player doesn't pan out the way you thought, or any number of things can happen. But based on what I was thinking before, which is what everybody does anyway, when people sit there and say, I think this is a 15-win team, I think this is a 14-win team, or whatever, I think this team's a 4-win team. Whatever it is, whatever your idea or your bias is going into the season, you're essentially doing the same thing, but just not going through week by week. I wanted to try to do that and see where I ended up. And I ended up in some really interesting situations. I got the whole AFC North making the playoffs, even the Steelers.
Yeah.
With everything. I have I have somebody now. I have the Texans not making the playoffs. I have the Colts winning their division. I have it's crazy. It's nonsense. It really is. I should actually post all the different graphics up there on our social media, which you can follow us at ST Sports Podcast over on Twitter, X. Sorry, Elon. Sorry. And also on Instagram. Of course, you can see both Jimbo and my name down here on the YouTube. If you're listening to us on the podcast, it is at Jimbo ST Sports and at King _ST Sports, respectively. Couple of things happened, though. in the last little bit here, in the last couple days, as it were, a flurry of contracts just coming out. Like everybody seems to be getting paid right before the season is starting here. Of course, we know Ayuk got his contract finally, and even he came out and admitted during the press conference that. I think I made it a little bit harder than it needed to be at the end. Yeah, no shit, Brandon. Especially since you agreed to the contract that was offered to you like a month ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, but also to be fair.
To be fair.
Pitter patter. Which was what we were all saying to Brendan Ayuk. Pitter patter, let's get out of here. He might have been doing it just to avoid training camp.
That's what's, like halfway through it, I never said it, so I should have said it, so I have it on record and everything. It started to feel like that. Like when the Browns came out, the Steelers came out, all those things. And, like, they were some good contracts. They were better contracts than what San Fran gave him. And he's just like, nope. I'll take the cheapest one here. Like, it did kind of scream, I just didn't want to go to training camp.
And then, of course, the 49ers, they also signed Trent Williams. So they have that locked up going into the season. And their offensive line is now... I mean, San Francisco's got everybody. They paid Christian McCaffrey. Ayuk is there. They did Debo last year. Trent Williams is signed. They're going to have to do Brock next year, but for right now, Brock is still... He's making like around $900,000 for...
Yeah.
Being an elite quarterback in the NFL, shut your mouth. For being an elite quarterback in the NFL, only making $900,000 is insane.
Yeah. I mean, he is elite because, he got all these weapons finally signed. But I was kind of hoping that Trent and Ayuk didn't play week 1 so I could just show you guys how he is just average at best. But with the Trent Williams sign, and then the other thing I did see is they actually did restructure Debo's contract. And now they actually have about $50 or so million of cap space. So they're already setting themselves up for next year for Purdy's contract, which he'll get way overpaid.
Says the guy who had that. What's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy? In your mind, I just want to know.
What's the difference?
Yes.
Hurts has less weapons. Ayuk, McCaffrey, Debo, Trent Williams,
Jalen Hurts had maybe the best NFL center in history.
Okay, so you got Kelsey, AJ.
He
Brown,
had AJ Brown,
Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
And then who else?
Well, now he's got Saquon. And you had Boston Scott. And you had a guy who completely owned another NFL team.
I was going to say, he was good for 2 games a year.
I was going to say, it's rare that you get a player that can own a particular NFL team. And you had one. So I don't want to hear this, he didn't have weapons. He didn't have weapons. He had weapons. I watched it. I watched the damn thing.
Not as many as Purdy, though. Oh, boy.
But see, here's the thing: is Garoppolo had the same weapons.
Not the
Trey Lance had the same. Trey Lance had the same weapons.
Ayuk wasn't there yet.
Yes, he was. Trey Lance had him. When was Ayuk got there? What, 2 years ago?
Well, this was the last year of his rookie deal, I believe.
So then he was there with Trey Lance.
Then he must have sucked because I don't remember him playing. Because I remember them saying about they were comparing Garoppolo and Purdy, just the whole argument over this.
Right. Well, again, Trey Lance got hurt early on, but that was the whole thing with Trey Lance was he still, and not only that, but he still had Debo and he still had Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, and he still didn't do anything.
Well, that's because Trey Lance sucks.
Okay, right. So Brock Purdy does something that the number what was Trey Lance 2 or 3?
Yeah, he was top 5.
I think he was number
exactly
2.
Where.
I think he was the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
But either way,
as much as I don't like Purdy, I'll take Purdy over Lance any day, even without weapons.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. You're saying that Brock Purdy sucks. It's like
I didn't say he sucks.
Yes, you did. You said he sucks. You've said multiple times that he sucks.
I said he's average. He's not elite.
The numbers say otherwise.
Difference.
And I know yesterday we argued that numbers can lie. Even though I say numbers never lie, sometimes numbers can lie. But the numbers say otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I could probably be elite with that team throwing 5 yards.
No, you couldn't. No, dude, neither you nor I are even close to having the quarterback or athletic ability of Trey Lance. We don't have the athletic or quarterback ability of a Joe Namath today. Like 80-year-old Joe Namath, we're not even still. He could still whip our ass. Like, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't want to hear like everybody thinks that everything's so easy and everything looks so easy because these guys make it look easy. And you think Brock Purdy looks average. An average person doesn't go to 2 straight NFC Championship games, doesn't win one, doesn't almost win a Super Bowl. I mean, and this is what I was talking to you about too. Is like, what's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy? Both have been to a Super Bowl. Both have lost to the Chiefs in last-second fashion. And
I'll keep my mouth shut about the one, but go ahead.
No, well, I mean, because it was a holding penalty. As much as you want to say it wasn't, it was. You got to deal with that.
I didn't call it all game, but go ahead.
Here,
little asterisk next to Super Bowl.
Only Philadelphia fans will complain for years over the refs not allowing them to cheat. Anyway, before we start going down a Brock hole again, which is what Sable does.
It's not even week 1 didn't even start yet, and we're already like in mid-season 4.
I'm getting you know how the Steelers, they signed Cameron Hayward to a brand new deal. What was that one? Let me see here. That was 3 years, $45 million, $16 million fully guaranteed this season for Cam Hayward. So again, the Steelers really solidifying the defensive side of the ball. That's a massive signing.
Yeah.
Especially with TJ. I don't want to say he's got the injury bug. I don't want to say he's got that, but as long if TJ can stay healthy, which seems to be how you say a lot of things nowadays for a lot of teams. If TJ can stay healthy, that Steelers defense is going to win them a lot of games, and they're going to have to because the offense will not win them any. So this, I mean, that's I think that's a big, and maybe that's why the Steelers did it. They were like, listen, we have nothing going on. We are going to need every little bit of defense that we can get. So let's just get this out of the way. Let's sign Cam and get this done. So that was another one of the. What's that?
How funny will it be though if like Russell Wilson comes out and just like pulls a Peyton Manning from Denver Broncos and just lights it up?
Yeah, except that everybody from was expecting. Now, granted, no, a lot of people weren't, and I go back to that. I do remember that people were expecting Peyton Manning to suck.
Yeah,
when he went to Denver because he was coming off the neck surgery, and they were like, his mobility's gone, he's old, he's not gonna be able to do anything, and that turned out to be wrong. Even though in that Super Bowl against Seattle and the aforementioned Russell Wilson, they got demolished at MetLife Stadium. That was such a boring Super Bowl. That was so bad. I think that might have been the first Super Bowl we hung out for. I think that was like in the first year of our friendship.
Was that the year that all of us were at the bar? My sister, Tom, and my sister wanted to put the Ray Lewis picture up on the dartboard. Were you there for that one?
Not sure. I don't know.
I just remember by halftime we all checked out of that football game.
Oh, it was so bad. That's where it started. The first play of the game, the snap went over Peyton's head and was a safety, and it did not get any better from there.
Yeah.
It was such a bad game. It was so bad. But yeah, I always forget that, and I go like, oh no, nobody expected Peyton to be bad. No, actually, people thought Peyton was going to suck in Denver. Surprisingly, and while I don't think he was peak Peyton Manning with the Colts, he wasn't bad.
No.
So I think even that year, like he led the NFL with touchdown. He had like 50 touchdowns or something, or something
he had,
ridiculous
55.
like that. Which is why that Super Bowl was such a surprise, and how it just all fell apart from the jump. It just fell apart for them. But I'm not expecting that from Russell Wilson. Because here's the thing, Russell Wilson already had that opportunity. Because he got traded to the same team that Peyton did. He went to Denver. And granted, he also had Nathaniel Hackett there, and that wasn't great. And I don't think anybody's going to make an excuse for Nathaniel Hackett. But, it also didn't help when Sean Payton comes in and was like, I'm willing to take like a $48 million cap hit for you not to be here.
Yeah.
And when asked about that on Radio Row during the Super Bowl, literally took no time. He was like, was it a tough decision for you to go ahead and cut Russell Wilson, know what the cap hit was going to be? No. Next question. There was.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's, that is what it is. So, listen, stranger things have happened. That would be literally the most surprising thing to happen.
I might have to look and see what because there's got to be a bet out there, like on FanDuel or DraftKings, whichever, of Steelers winning the Super Bowl this year with Russell Wilson, and just put $1 on it. Maybe $1 will win me like $10,000 or something.
The only thing more surprising would be Daniel Jones winning MVP.
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing that would surprise me more than Russell Wilson playing at a Pro Bowl level, at an All-Pro level with the Steelers, is if Daniel Jones somehow outperforms everybody. Not only plays better than people think he's going to play, but plays better than every quarterback in the NFL and wins the MVP. That's the only way I'll be more surprised.
And I'm sure you'll be very happy, too. You'll be like...
I will never... Listen. I fully expect that not to happen. I'm hopeful. I'm not delusional. Let's relax on that. But if that were to happen, you'd never get me to shut up. I'd never shut up. You'd never hear me shut my mouth, ever. The Jets also signed Michael Carter II, stealing up their nickel corner there. Nickelback.
Yeah.
Look at this photograph. He looked at it and he took the pick out of that guy's hands. I don't know if that was almost as bad as actually listening to Nickelback. Boo. Low hanging fruit. Some of the
new songs are okay.
Low hanging fruit. I know. Listen, I'm going to be honest. Like I used to say this too when I was on the radio. 97.9X in Wilkes-Barre. You've never met anybody in your life who likes Nickelback, yet they sell out every concert they go to. Every concert they have is sold out. People losing their goddamn minds, getting drunk. Woo! Yeah! Want to live like a rock star. Woo! But then again, you go out on the street, nobody, like, you run into some people, like, they like Taylor Swift or something. Like, you say that, okay, I met somebody they know like Taylor Swift, or they like anybody else. I don't know. You can name any other band or artist or whatever. Oh, Ariana Grande. All right, fine, good, that's fine. You don't see them a lot. You don't run into everybody a lot, but they're there and you see them, everything like that. Again, never run into a Nickelback fan, yet constantly sold out. It is one of those, it's like a Schrodinger's fan. Like, I don't know, like, they both exist and don't exist at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of those weird
like
things.
They're Nickelback closet fans.
That could be. But then something tells me it's not, because then you have there's that layer of, like, secrecy, like, of shame, like,
yeah.
If I see somebody here and I told them that I wasn't, but then I was, and then I'm like, oh, like, there's always that kind of, people will be on edge, and nobody there is on edge. Everybody there is just getting drunk, having a great time. So that's what I mean. Is like it doesn't seem to be quite like that,
Yeah.
But I also agree with you. They got a couple of bangers, man. Like, I'm sorry, Nickelback's got a couple of good songs.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. It's I don't turn off Rockstar when it comes on. I dig it. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do?
Rockstar's okay.
I also listen to listen. When you live with a Swiftie, you listen to Taylor Swift too. So I listen to that. I listen to
Breaking Ben.
You son of a bitch. you.
I'll tell you what, and I'll admit this. Like,
that's low. That's a low blow.
When I'm listening to SiriusXM, I always, I hit play when I got my earbuds on, but then I'll pause it for 2-3 minutes, and then hit play again to listen to whatever's on. So when Breaking Ben comes on, I can skip to live and just skip over to freaking songs. I hate Breaking Ben too.
There's a long story there. Maybe we'll get into it one day. But fuck Ben Burnley and fuck Breaking Ben. I am trying to curse less. I am. But this is your fault because you brought him up.
Yes,
so.
Yes.
But anyway,
I
yes.
Look for like a ticker for behind me. So every time you curse, just hit bing 1.
I would say we'd have a curse jar, but I'm poor. I don't have money, so there's no reason. Like I can curse. You can't get blood from a stone. You know what I mean? The same thing I tell the IRS. Yes, but the Jets do sign Michael Carter, 3-year deal, $30.75 million extension. And so this is what I mean. It's like the Jets don't have Hasson Reddick. He's still holding out. Doesn't look like he's going to be there already for Monday night. But that Jets defense is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. They are going to be tested, especially against that running game. And that's what I mean. I think maybe the running game is going to take a little bit of a hit for not having Reddick there. But defensively, they're good. Defensively, I think on the defensive backside, I think they're good. It's are they going to be able to handle a freshly paid, well-rested Trent Williams and CMC, who's also got himself a bag too on this offseason? That's going to be the test. That's where you're going to see how good the Jets are and whether or not they all of a sudden become. Because if remember last year when the Chiefs played their opener, Chris Jones was holding out.
Yeah.
And they lost to the Lions. 2 days later, Chris Jones signs with the Chiefs. He's playing the next week, Yeah. So is it going to be that kind of situation where the Jets are going to see, well, maybe we really do need him? And maybe that's why he's still holding out. Maybe he's hoping that the Jets lose on Monday night and then become desperate to get him in there.
Yeah.
But that's a double-edged sword because if the Jets are able to play well and hold CMC to limited yardage and beat the San Francisco 49ers, then you lose any and all leverage you had.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a lot to stand on as it is. But then if that happens, you have what are you going to do? The Jets are going to be like, listen, we just beat the defending NFC champion without you. Like, that's a big risk to take. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Looking at some of the other signings, I'm just scrolling through the twits here.
Patrick Surtain got extended.
That was just today, yes, wasn't it? 6 hours ago.
Which I thought was interesting because Philly was rumored to be trading for him during last season and slightly before the draft this year. So I thought like Denver was trying to do like still keep with the rebuild and and just get draft picks, but obviously I guess they want to keep him around.
Well, I think they're trying to rebuild. Like there's nothing wrong with rebuilding, but you should try to keep some of keep some anchors there.
Yeah.
If you have some good players, like if you're just not a good team, but you have good players, try to keep them there. And I think that's what this is too. He's got 4-year extension for this one, $96 million, $24 million per year, AAV, as they like to say. 77.5 of that is guaranteed. 77.5 million, by the way. And I don't know why all of a sudden everybody starts mentioning what agency did this for them. but this was done by Tory Dandy of CAA. I guess this deal is fine and dandy. So good for them. Hey, listen, good for Surtain. And again, that's what I mean. We're starting to get this flurry of just contract signings. And in fact, the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders, their standout guard, Sam Cosme, has agreed to terms on a new 4-year contract extension. I don't know if I have the numbers on that one as of yet, but no numbers on that yet. But yeah, he signed, and you have Dan Quinn coming out saying that he's a commander for life. He's a true commander. So I don't know what that means, but because we don't even know what a commander is. Is he a football teamer? Is he a Redskin? Is he a commander? Is he a football team of Redskin commander? Like Washington has a brand problem. We discussed that before. I think we discussed it last week. We discussed it a couple times. They have a massive branding problem.
Yes.
And also their uniforms kind of suck.
Yeah.
I'm
glad though that they took the Sean Taylor figurine down, and they're gonna put up a proper Sean Taylor.
Oh yeah, they put up like the Sean Taylor Memorial, and it was like one of those wire mannequins that you see in like Easy Pickens or something. As a callback for everybody out there, Mandy's, and it was so. It was like one of those uniform mannequins that they would show to display a new uniform. It's like, that's not. Well, listen, Dan, we know the Dan Snyder years. Like we know.
Yeah,
we're beyond that. We're moving past it. So we'll see what it is. Hopefully it'll be nice. Hey, Bill Belichick's got an Instagram.
Ooh, is this his profile picture of the ring bell?
A what?
The video that he was on the Ring doorbell, the Ring camera.
Oh, I was wondering. You said the Ring bell, and I'm like, is he ringing a bell? I mean, he rang that girl's bell. Good for him. You know what I'm saying? like, listen, I don't know, how old is that girl? 26 or something? And he's pushing 70 sign. Like, Bill, congratulations, man. That's fine work. That is fine work you're doing, and we here appreciate all you do. Listen, sometimes you got to get out there. You got to get that brisk morning air, just revitalize the senses. It was a long night. It was probably a long night. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to, he's got to keep up. You know what I mean? He's got to, knees to chest, man. No quit. You got to really want it. You got to really dig down deep. Come on, Bill. You got to show that you want it. No, you take no plays off here, Bill. Do your job. Just do your job, Bill.
You're not on to Cincinnati yet.
Cincinnati. Speaking of Cincinnati, though, good segue. Jamar Chase still hasn't signed, but there is a video of Jamar Chase walking through the streets of Cincinnati on the way to practice, which I love that everybody does kind of make fun of that about Cincinnati. Is, you can just be walking down the street, going to the local grocery store, and just be like, "Is that Jamar Chase? What the? Is that Joe Burrow? Holy shit!" Like it's still fun, and Cincinnati is still fun.
Yeah. I kind of like that, like how they do that. Green Bay does the bicycles.
They have the bike ride, which Lamar almost murdered himself on earlier in training camp.
God.
Dude, can you imagine that? Like Lamar Jackson breaks his wrist trying to stop his fall off a bike, got out for the year, and it's like,
they would never do the bicycles ever again.
Oh my God! Do you know the uproar there would be? Why are they doing? These are professional athletes. Why they should be Ubered for around the facilities? Like it would get so loud. People would lose their minds. It would be so bad. I'm just looking around here. I'm trying to see if I don't see anything about Jamar signing.
But you gotta think.
But it looks like
It's-
he's in with Cincinnati, so he's not like he's not holding out anymore.
Yeah.
So he's there. So that's why you're seeing a lot of people report that Hasson Reddick is the last holdout currently.
Yeah.
Now, what were you going to say?
As far as Jamar Chase, you got to think though, like it's obviously one of two things. Either he just said, "Screw it, we're not going to get a deal done this year. I don't want to have that as a distraction for a team. I'm just going to show up, play, deal with it next year." Or, like you said, maybe there's something close. That they're close enough that he's comfortable with going out there and playing. Because, I mean, he's only making what they say $1 million or $2 million a game or a year or this year. So if he got the fines for the game checks, it's pennies compared to what he's gonna sign for.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. Like, he's already lost. I don't know how much it is already in the fines. But now he's going to start losing game checks.
Yeah.
Like, that's a different level of that's a different level of losing money.
Yeah. But,
And like, here's the thing. At some point, you got to realize, like, you're not, like, now, even if you sign a deal, you're not going to be making back anything.
yeah.
Like, you're not making that back. It's not, at the end, you're losing money. Even if you sign
Yeah.
a new deal, even if it's a bigger contract, even if it's all that, at the end of the day, you're still going to be losing money.
Yeah.
So that's like where's the thinking? I don't understand. Like, at what point do you like, all right, this didn't work?
Well, maybe the thinking is, okay, short term, yes, I'm gonna lose money this year. Let's just say he signs even just for $28 million a year, and doesn't show up for 5 games. That's only $5 million he's gonna lose. Okay, so he makes 23 this year, but next year he'll be making the 28. He'll be making what he wanted. So sacrifice short term for the long term game.
You're talking about losing $5 million as if it's nothing. Like, that's money that overall he's going to lose. He wanted the new deal to get money this year. Like, even if he comes in now, he's going to be losing money on this year.
Yeah.
He's losing money on this year, and that's money he's not going to get back. Like, at that point, you have to realize, like, you're not winning. And on top of that, if he decides to hold out the whole year, guess what? The Jets still hold your rights in your contract. You're not going anywhere.
No, I'm talking about Jamar Chase. That's why I said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Reddick.
Yeah, no, Riddick is. I agree with you. I think Riddick.
Jamar
is
still has
Chris
2
Jones
years.
Situation.
Jamar
Yeah.
still has 2 years on his contract. So he's.
That's true.
A lot of people saying, like, he wanted to get ahead of what happened with T. Higgins, where they franchised him and all that kind of stuff. Like, he wanted to jump ahead of that. But I think that's the thing too. He held out. I think it was more of a statement of just like, pay me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm worth it. I'll go out here. I'll show it to you. We're still talking, but pay me. But he also realized that he's under contract for 2 years. So there's no reason to hold out this whole year because he's going to lose. He's got the fines or whatever. But I think he's still on a rookie contract, isn't he? Yeah.
Jamar Chase, yeah. That's why they say he's only going to lose like
Because
$1 million a game.
with rookie contracts, the fines can be forgiven.
Yes.
But once you're not on a rookie contract, those fines stay.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like he needs, like he held out, he got the fines or whatever, but he's on a rookie contract, came in, they'll forgive those fines. You know they're going to forgive the fines. They're not going to.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, I think, a little bit of message sending, and he wants to get that done. He wants to get everything. So, that's fine. The Hasson Reddick shit makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, from his standpoint, it makes no sense. I'm reading here on Barstool what their take is on it, and it's just it's along the same same thing. And this is the point. Is like the Jets have the space. Like, they have the salary cap space. They have the cap space. They have all this stuff. I just don't understand. Like, at this point, I think it's I think it's a bad relationship.
Yeah.
I think Hasson Reddick told the Jets one thing, and then at the very last minute pulled the rug out from him and said, "Nope, I'm going to try to hold you hostage."
Yeah.
And Joe Douglas said, "The fuck you are," and now it's turned into this. Punching my microphone here. It turned into this loggerhead situation where now it's a case of it's a pissing contest, and Joe Douglas I think is going to win this because again Hasson doesn't have any leverage. Like I said, I don't think Hasson has a lot of leverage to begin with, but let's see what happens after Monday night. Let's see what the Jets do after Monday night. I think that's going to tell you a lot about whether Hasson comes in or not.
Yeah.
Or whether the Jets sign him or not. Like that, I think that'll be the break. If the Jets play, what's up?
I wonder if he'll show up to the game like how Chris Jones did. He was up in the suite during that Monday night game too.
Yes, he was. I
wonder if Hasson Reddick will do the same thing, or will he be home watching the game from home?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure how you go with that. Like if the Jets play well, like if I'm Hasson Reddick, I'm like, fine, I'll come in, I'll play, I'll make what little money I have here left to pay after I pay all my goddamn millions and millions and millions in fines, and then I'm gone after this year. Fine, you know, if the situation is already that bad, then fine. But I think that might be the thing too. The situation might be so bad now that, like, if I'm the Jets, I don't want him here.
Yeah,
like he's already shown to be like he's nope, don't want him. So then people will say trade him, and it's like
they may just have to eat the trading that draft pick away and just flat out release him.
You know, no, they're not. No. They'll either get something for him or they'll get him to play.
Yeah,
he'll either play or they'll just hold on to him until he does. Like it feels like this is that kind of situation where they're going to be, you know, it's those bridges are getting burned, you know, and it's like it's either you play for us or you don't play.
Yeah,
and it's going to be that kind of situation. But then again, do you want that kind of guy on your team? It goes into a whole thing of, you know, philosophical questions. Then, you know, do you want this guy on your team? Do you not? You know, is he going to be any kind of team player? Is he going to be a cancer? Is he already a cancer? Is he like what's going on? Like, and again, you already have the case of like he said one thing, did another, kind of is trying to keep everybody over barrel here. It's like I don't know. And again, maybe that's personal between those two. Maybe it's just between the front office and his agent. Like, I don't know. None of us know what the actual situation behind the closed doors are. We don't.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, like it's clearly not going to get figured out before Monday night.
Yeah.
So Hasson Reddick's not playing Monday night. So then the question is, what happens Monday night?
Yeah.
Like, what is what if the Jets, like, if they get run all over, Brock Purdy puts up, you know, 350 yards, 4 touchdowns or something against them, and all that stuff, then the Jets are over a barrel.
Yeah.
But if the Jets defense comes out and, you know, they hold CMC to 63 yards and get 3 sacks against Purdy and whatever the case is, now you're talking. Now Hasson's in trouble.
See, that's the thing though with Reddick is he's more of the pass specialist than a run stopper. I mean, he is good in the run, but he gets the sacks. So
yeah, he's a rusher. He's an edge rusher. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's more so if the Jets stop, you know, McCaffrey. I think it's more of how many sacks does that defense get?
Yeah, but whether it's sacks, whether it's getting into the backfield, disrupting the rhythm, the flow of the play, whatever it is, like not just getting sacks, but coming off the edge there is a lot. It's a big deal. Yeah. You know, like you can do more to help your team than just get sacks.
No, yeah.
Being an edge rusher.
Yeah.
That's his forte. That's his home run. That's you know, that's why people know him and like him and think he's a great talent. But there's a lot more to being an edge rusher than just, you know, sacking the quarterback. He can disrupt the play. He can disrupt an offense, and that's what you want. But if the Jets are able to do that without him, then who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It becomes a whole big thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have all that going on. We have all those contracts except for Hasson Reddick and Jamar Chase, but he stopped his holdout. He's in. He's apparently going to be ready for week 1. We don't even have to ready for I didn't think he was going to miss week 2. No. One way or another, he was going to be in there for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
For the Chiefs game. But, it was a question of whether or not he was going to be there for week 1. It seems like he's going to be there for week 1. So that's the thing. But speaking of week 1, it's tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah.
Ravens and the Chiefs open up the season. We have another season opening game at Arrowhead. Empty shit. It's going to be we're the loudest stadium in the world. All right.
I can't believe you're acting like that. You're Taylor Swift. Might
I'm excited. She's going to be there. It's going to be fun to see her. I'm happy. I'm glad. I am. Listen, everybody who doesn't like seeing her is just you're a curmudgeon. You're a curmudgeon, and nobody likes you. You hate fun. You hate love. You hate fun. You hate good times. You hate beautiful blonde women. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you don't like seeing Taylor Swift on your screen, Mister, I'd rather see John Stamos than Taylor Swift. Which, listen,
I did
in
not
this
say that,
world. Listen, nobody's judging in this world anymore, Jimbo. We love you for who you are, no matter how you want to live your life. Like we said,
I'll say,
football is for everybody. The NFL has their logo and campaign for that. That's all that matters. We love you, Jimbo, no matter what.
I hate fake love, and that's what Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift has.
Don't stop.
Stop. Contracts out there.
Stop. Stop. Yeah. First of all, this is the problem. This is why you shouldn't be reading all these fake Twitter. You get got so many times on Twitter. It's not even funny.
No, I didn't believe that because if it was true,
you say that, but you still follow Dove Kleiman and ML football. So I'm just saying.
Because it's funny to laugh at. Like you don't like to read comments. I like to read comments because I like to laugh at it.
Nah, I can't read comments. I get too angry. I get so angry at comments. I can't read comments. Because then I have to answer comments, and it's one of those things I'm starting to try to learn to pull back from. Like just being online, like, oh, I saw this post. It's nice. And then you see the comments underneath it, and it's just like, this is awful. This is the worst thing in the world. This is terrible. It's like, it could literally be a post of a video of like a cute puppy running. And then it's like, why aren't you protecting his paws on that sharp grass? How dare you? And it's like, how are people this infuriating in the world? Like, and I don't know if they're trolling. I don't know if they're not. Because that's the other thing, too. We live in a time where we don't know what's reality and what's parody because they've become the same goddamn thing. We don't know. In real life, in politics, and everyday life, it's you think people aren't that dumb, but they're dumb. And they say dumb things, and you're like, oh, they must be joking around. And no, they're not. There's a whole group of people who believe the earth is flat. I don't get it.
Wait, it's not?
This is why I don't read comments. This is why I don't read comments. Don't read comments. If there's any advice I can give anybody out there, no matter what walk of life, no matter what you do, man, woman, race, creed, religion, whatever, don't read the comments. Just don't read the comments. Yeah. Just don't read the comments. Let people comment. Let people comment all day long. Let them do what they want. Post something, like post comments or make a post or something. Turn notifications off. Yeah. Whatever happens after that, let Jesus take the wheel. I'm out of it. I got nothing to do with it anymore. I'm out. Nope. No, thank you. But yes, I'm excited to see Taylor Swift at the game. But also we do. I mean, it's just it's an interesting game. Good AFC Championship rematch. You get to see Baltimore with Derrick Henry. And see how that's going to work, because I think that having Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the same backfield is dangerous. Like that's almost nearly unfair. It's almost like a cheat code. And we've discussed it a little bit on this show before. just about the dynamic problems that having those two in the backfield can present, especially if you want to do an RPO with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Who do you stop? Who do you focus on? Because you're going to be fucked either way. I am trying to curse less.
So let me ask you this then. So on the Wednesday shows, we're going to be picking our Thursday.
We're picking a Thursday game. We will be picking Thursday's game. We're picking the Chiefs and Ravens today.
Yes. What? Without giving your pick yet, because we'll get to that. What are you most excited to see? Like, are you more excited to see the Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry aspect of the game, or are you more excited to see like me? I'm curious to see how the Kansas City wide receivers are. Like,
I'm excited by two things. Well, three if you count Taylor. I'm excited by seeing the Ravens and how they look coming into the season after laying an absolute egg fart in the AFC Championship game. How Lamar kind of recovers from that. What does Derrick Henry look like in that offense? How does that Ravens offense, what are we going to be seeing? What's the dynamics? Are they going to do what we think they're going to do? How does Kansas City try to stop? Like, I'm excited by that. And I'm also excited to see how does Kansas City respond? Two Super Bowls in a row. All anybody's talking about is possible three-peat, first-time three-peat, could make history, could be a big thing. And does that start to build almost a little bit of pressure? How do they handle that? What do the receivers look like? Now we all know Rashid Rice has got speed.
yes. Took a split
dangerous.
second.
It's dangerous speed. He's got it's almost reckless speed if you want to think. He's got very reckless speed.
And supposedly he may not be getting suspended. He may just
I heard that. I did hear that.
Yeah.
There were people already losing their minds about that.
Yeah.
And maybe rightfully so, considering how we've seen other people suspended for literally nothing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But you also have Xavier Worthy there, and I'm excited to see, like, is this kid Cheetah 2.0? Is he Tyreek Hill just like 4 years younger or whatever it is? Like, I'm interested to see where how that all looks. So yes, I mean, there's a couple reasons. It's not so much one thing. I am excited. I think it's a great opening weekend. I think this is the last two. Last year with the Lions and this year, I think they picked the right teams.
Yes.
They picked the Lions, that team that everybody kind of had hype for. People weren't sure. They're Lions, really? Are we buying into the hype? They didn't. They missed the playoffs. They didn't. They lost 6 straight. They go into Kansas City and win, and they had a absolutely fantastic season. Now you have an AFC Championship game rematch. You have a revamped and retooled Baltimore Ravens, defending MVP against defending Super Bowl champions, and their kind of new look offense with still some of the good old pieces there with Travis. I think Travis is in his 12th year
he's
playing.
up there.
So there's I think I heard it on Rich Eisen's show that Travis Kelce and Chris Jones are the only two people left on that team from before Patrick Mahomes. They're from the
That's
Alex
true.
Smith times. Yeah. So
Yeah. I didn't mean to make that face. It's just I picked my head up. I got NFL Network on, and I saw Patrick Mahomes doing the old putting your forehead on the baseball bat and going around in a circle and then try to walk. I was trying to see.
Oh yeah, they were doing that during camp or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were having. That's the other thing too. Like everything that came out of Chiefs camp was just like they're loosey goosey. They're loose. They're just chilling. Like people were trying to say like, oh, maybe they got a lot of pressure trying to be three-peating and do all this stuff. And so far, what it looks like is that they're like, well, why not three? Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Mahomes throwing first down passes behind his back. You got Kelce flying from training camp to go carry Taylor in Paris or whatever the hell it was, and then flying back. Like, everybody's just seemed like it. It doesn't seem like a team that is on the cusp of a third Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
It just seems like they're like, why not? Let's go. Why not? Why not? Let's go for it. 3 Super Bowls? Well, we could use another ring. Sure. Why not? That's
Maybe they're doing that so Travis doesn't try to tackle Andy Reid again.
Well, he's just passionate. That's the other thing I love. Whenever anybody gets, whether it's Travis, whether it's anybody else, you always say, "Oh, you like to see the passion out there. You like to see some passion on these guys." It's like, how about don't hit the 70-year-old man who's obese? That's probably not a great idea. But we saw that a lot last year too. Like, we're talking about how loosey-goosey they are now, but last year when they were in the midst of that slump they had, like, you had Travis Kelce slamming his helmet off the ground. You had Patrick Mahomes screaming at everybody, screaming at the ref, screaming they were a little bit unhinged last year.
Yeah,
like they were not this team. So maybe they got some weed in there. Maybe Travis brought in a bunch of weed. We all know he likes the cannabis. Who doesn't? Just saying.
Yeah.
But like, maybe they just smoked up and chilled out. Maybe they did a little ayahuasca. Maybe they went and hung out with Aaron down in Peru. I don't know. But they seem a lot more chill this year than what last year was.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that all handles and how that all happens, and because that's, again, they might look nicer, they might look chill, but you get a couple 3-and-outs and the Ravens are up 21-0 on you. You're going to start chucking helmets again? Like, I don't know. We're going to have to see.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that goes. So to answer your question, I'm interested by football. What's the one thing you're interested in that? Watching the game. I'm interested in watching real life, meaningful NFL football. That's what I'm here for. I'm excited for that. So to me, that's the thing. That's where we're at. I thought there was something else I wanted to talk about today too, and I can't remember what it was.
College football?
Yes, I did want to talk about college football because Notre Dame. That's a game they lose all the time.
Yeah.
That's a game Notre Dame loses literally all the time. They never win that game.
Right from the start. Right from the start, they always lose it. And
you go in there against the top 25 SEC team in their home at night. Kyle Field, 100-something plus. Like, I think it's the largest stadium in the SEC. So
I think they said 107.
It's like 107, 108,000. It's big. It is big. Big, loud. And I'll tell you what, for a lot of the night, it was quiet.
Yeah.
And again, like we said a couple times, that's a game Notre Dame usually loses. And they did not.
And that was big for us too, because you look at our school. Well, they put the schedule up there during the game.
It's not a terrible schedule. It's a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah, like me personally, it was A&M and USC at the end of the schedules are 2 meaningful games. The rest are all. I think the lowest one I saw when they had the projection to win, I think the lowest one was 71%, and I think it might have been.
The one I saw was like 60-something. I think it was USC.
Yeah.
As they listed it, but let me see here. Okay, so we had Texas A&M. Our remaining schedule is this week is Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami, Ohio, Louisville, who's ranked 22. Louisville, we get them at Notre Dame. Stanford, Georgia Tech. Because they're ranked 2 now, so if they keep on playing well, Navy, we're going to that game.
Yes, we are.
Florida State, which now doesn't look like it's that big of a game.
Yeah.
Virginia, Army, that's the one that's going to be at Yankee Stadium, I think. and then we ended up at USC. So a fairly favorable schedule. If Louisville stays ranked and if Georgia Tech stays ranked, that's going to be you're going to talk about 2 more ranked wins that Notre Dame will have under their belt. And then it's going to basically be that game against SC is going to be big. But let's say Notre Dame runs the table all the way through USC. Even if they lose to SC, they're probably still going to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Don't say, oh, yeah, because people will find a way to rank them 13th and keep them out. So let's be honest.
That's true, but you got to think like a Notre Dame team or like a Penn State team, even with a 1 loss, they got to be in the playoffs. I think the teams that have the 2 losses, that's where the cutoff line will be.
That's where it's going to depend. Do you have 2 losses in the SEC? Do you have 2 losses in the Big Ten? Are you?
Yeah.
I think if you're a 2-loss team in the Big Ten or SEC, you still have a much better shot of making the playoffs than if you're a 2-loss team literally anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because it's literally those leagues run it. And like somebody said, if you look at the top 10 of college right now, it's AFC, NFC, and Notre Dame. It's it's Big Ten, it's SEC, and there's Notre Dame hanging out at 5. Just, hey, buddy, how you doing? Still Indy. We're still Indy, baby. So it's literally going to be those 2 leagues have monopolized college football, which is why I liked that proposal from College Football Tomorrow, I think was the name of the group or whatever. Apparently hasn't gotten a lot of traction, but I think it should. 'Cause I made a whole thing about it. I might make a video about it, putting together how they listed it and how they would want to have it, where it's like 8 divisions. You have 7 that are based on regions, 1 that is a pro rel division, a promotion relegation division, where you can have college teams play their way into or out of. If you lose too much, you get out of that top 8 college divisions, which then those are available for the college football playoff and the TV money and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I really like that idea, and I think that's the future for college football. That's the way it should go. But we'll.
I mean, you see how long it took us to get to just a playoff system, just in general, getting away from BCS.
Well, it took 130 years for college football to say maybe we should have a playoff. Like they had playoffs in Division 1 AA, or what they call the championship series now, or Division 2, Division 3. They've had playoffs forever. But for someone to talk about, we have to have these bowls that have nothing to do with where a team is ranked or national championships or anything like that. So then they finally did the bowl championship series to get teams in. They're like, we'll get a 1 and 2, and they still fucked that up. And then they went and said, okay, fine, we'll do a playoff, but it'll only be 4 teams, and we'll find a way to fuck that up. And guess what? They did.
Yeah.
And more than once. And not just like it's not just the Florida thing, like the Florida State thing, which, listen, that's funny hearing them all still bitch about that. It's like, really?
Speaking of that, did you see about UCF? I'm pretty sure it was the school.
Central Florida? In 2017, the one that went undefeated, yeah.
Yes. On Twitter, or someone made the meme, UCF, hey, Florida State, we know what you're going through. We should have been in there too. Oh, wait. We went undefeated the following year. Like they were trolling Florida State how they're losing this year now.
Right, yeah, but UCF actually, yeah, they went undefeated, and then they still, I think they only might have had 1 loss the following year, but they were still good. They were still good. Like UCF for that, there was like a 2-3 year period there in the mid 20-teens there where UCF was legitimately a good team.
Yeah. Like
I would have loved to have seen them get into the playoff and get stuff, and they just wouldn't put them in there. And then what happened is, a couple years ago they put Cincinnati in there, and while Cincinnati did well, I don't think they were as good as those UCF teams were.
Yeah.
back then, and so they got in the playoff and they got just destroyed. They got poor Cincinnati. But what are you gonna do? But I like that idea. I've gone to it. Like I said, I might make a video and do my little whole explanation about it and how I would set it up if I was, because that's the other thing too, is you're talking about, in order to do that, like, it makes sense, but in order to do that, you got to get all these conference presidents and people to sign off and be like, yeah, sure, destroy our conference and put me out of a job. That sounds like a great idea. Like, so they're not going to be on board of it just because they want their money. They still want to be in charge. They want to have a conference they're in charge of, like, so like, you're going to have to find a way to be like, okay, fine, like, we'll give you you can be part of a committee. We'll put you out. You can keep a job and make millions. Just shut up. And then on top of that, you have television money, because you have all these different networks that have deals with the Big Ten and the SEC and the ACC and whatever. If you decide to just chuck conferences out and realign everything into divisions and have, kind of restructure college football, well, now you got to either restructure the television contracts or throw them all out and start from scratch, which, good luck dealing with the legal side of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So unfortunately, it's a huge mess that there's a simple answer, but there's no simple way to implement it. And that's kind of college football in a nutshell. But I mean, when you look at the first weekend, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, Georgia is still Georgia, and it's going to be a hard time beating them. They should have been in the playoffs last year, to be honest with you. And do
you think that Dabo was a one-hit wonder?
No, he didn't. No, Dabo was a fantastic recruiter, great coach. Like, you don't get like a 7-year, 10-year run like Clemson had and be a one-hit wonder. That's not what happened. He was in. Yeah. He's been in 7 of the playoffs. Clemson was in like 4 straight. They played in, I think, 3 straight national championship games. Won 2 of those against Alabama. Like no.
It just feels like that. Maybe it's because how bad he's been lately. Maybe that's.
Well, the biggest explanation is that he absolutely refuses to use the transfer portal.
Yeah,
he's the only one. There's only 4 teams that have not used the transfer portal this year.
Okay.
Clemson, Army, Navy, and Air Force. Now, there's a clear reason why Army, Navy, and Air Force don't use the transfer portal. Can you guess what it is?
Yeah.
So really, in reality, if you want to look at it, Clemson is the only team that has the ability to use the transfer portal and won't do it. And and Dabo is absolutely refusing. And the problem is, if you don't, it's a law of nature. It's a law of life. Adapt or die.
Yeah.
You have to adapt or you're going to die. And Dabo is sticking his heels in the ground and refusing to adapt to a new world. He's going to be out of a job soon.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but he's doing it to himself.
Yeah.
As much as we may not like the transfer portal and the NIL and the money that's in college or how it's changed or any of that, and there's plenty of arguments against it, it's here. It's a reality of life. Just by sitting there saying, I'm not going to use it, doesn't change the fact that it's here and everybody else is using it. Yeah. And everybody else is getting better. Notre Dame uses it.
And it showed how good it was for us on Saturday.
And you want to talk about places that never adapt? A Catholic university that still has academic standards. You're going to tell me that you're going to be less adaptive than a Catholic university? It takes the Catholic Church 300 years to change a letter. You're going to sit here and tell me that you're less adaptive than Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That's Dabo's problem. That's 100% Dabo's problem. And I'm not saying that's the only reason. It could be a lot he's not he's recruiting these very good classes. They're not getting. He's not developing them. He's a good coach. He may not be a good developer.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just not doesn't have the people there that are like he's not developing them the way he used to. And yeah, sure, it might have been easier when there was a time that once you had the kid committed, he was there.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing too. Like if you have a kid there and you're not going to develop him, and he's you're like, well, you're basically going to be here for 3 years before you see the field. Like the kids nowadays are saying, no. Like I want to see the only way I'm going to get better is if I see the field. And I want to play. I didn't come here to be on the practice squad. I didn't come here to do any of that. I came here to play football and for you to coach me. And if you're not going to do that, I'm going to leave. And I think that's a problem. Like for Dabo, that's the problem, is that he still sees it that it should be. They'll be here. I'm not going to take any transfer portal guys. Meanwhile, anybody that he gets in there is going to be like, no, not staying here. Adios, and they leave. So I think that's a huge problem for Dabo. I think that's a big problem for Dabo. But yeah, Georgia looks great. Michigan and Oregon look a little dicey.
I didn't see Oregon.
Dude,
I
Idaho,
Michigan.
The Idaho Vandals. They only lost by 10, and the game was like Oregon outperformed them.
Yeah,
but they didn't score a lot. They didn't blow them away in any way, shape, or form. And Idaho hung with them the whole game. Couple of trick plays it took, and yeah, that's fine. But the trick plays worked. Got them 2 touchdowns out of it. And that was it. They only lost 24-14.
Huh.
If you're Oregon, if you're with the number 3, which they're not the number 3 team now. I forget where they're ranked. I think they got ranked to number 7. I think they dropped to 7 or 8 or something. But you can't play like that against Idaho and think that you're like that's if I'm an Oregon fan, that's giving me pause.
Yeah,
that's making me go, Same thing with Michigan, and Michigan eventually put Fresno State away, but they did not look good doing it. Their quarterback did not look good. Their offense did not look good at all. Like there's a problem in Michigan as well. I mean, we kind of figured that was going to be. New coach, a lot of starters left. So this is not the national championship team. So if I'm a Michigan fan, like you need to prepare yourself that you guys might have 2 or 3 losses. You might not make the playoffs this year. Ohio State looked good, but they played Akron.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Like, Alabama blew somebody out and all this stuff, but they didn't play anybody. Notre Dame played Texas A&M. Good opponent, ranked opponent on the road at night at Kyle Field. That's a good win.
Yeah.
Georgia beat Clemson at a neutral site in Atlanta. Not really. Let's be honest about that. But, still, they played Clemson, who was a top 10 team. I think they're ranked 25 now. They dropped all the way down.
Wow.
Well, I'm surprised they're actually still ranked, but they are.
Yeah.
And they absolutely murdered them, So there are teams out there that did step up and played right teams. And that's what I mean. That might be another overreaction about Clemson, too, is the fact that, they got blown up by Georgia. There's a lot of teams that are going to get blown up by Georgia this year.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. So prepare yourself for that. But, yeah, good first weekend of college ball. I enjoyed it. I'm excited. But, Jimbo!
Well, there's one other thing I want to say, though. Nick Saban picked the right time to say the comment of, how do you say it? I don't care if you pay somebody $20 million. You could pay $20 million to the wrong person. And that's
you're shit out of luck, yeah.
Yeah, Florida State looks like they did that with DJU.
DJ Ukulele.
Yeah.
Just DJ. Dude, watching that Boston College game, like I turned it on, I was like, maybe I'll have it on in the background. It's college football. I was like, I'm literally thinking Florida State because you're thinking Florida State. So Florida State, they lost to Georgia Tech, all that kind of stuff. But they'll be fine. And it's Boston College. It's Billy O'Brien. You're like, it's going to take them a while. I'll tell you what, man. Not only does Boston College look good, Boston College might be a factor in the ACC, which I don't think anybody thought about. But Florida State on both sides of the ball, and that defense, which apparently was their, like, people were pointing to their defense this year as being like, yeah, no, we lost our starters and we lost stuff like that, but we got DJ, and even if all that kind of stuff, and but our defense is going to be where our power is. That's where their defense is hot, wet summer garbage. It is gross. Like, Boston College owned them. Like, let's be honest. That game was never close.
Yeah.
Florida State might have gotten it within a touchdown once or twice, but Boston College just went right back down the field and scored again. Like, that game was never close. It was never in doubt, and it could have been a lot worse for Florida State. Like, Boston College owned them. So, coming out of that game, my thought almost wasn't about, Florida State, or worried about Florida State, or maybe even about how good Boston College was. It was like, how bad is Georgia Tech that it took them a last-second field goal to beat this Florida State team?
Yeah.
Because look what Boston College just did to them. They ran all over them. And then when Florida State's defense decided to focus on the run, bloop, and you got a 20-yard gain. It was surprising. It was surprising. And watching, almost as entertaining as the game was watching Twitter and how people were like, fraud alert, possible fraud. I posted that too. I was like, that's pretty bad. And also just how the world has ganged up on the guy who deleted his Twitter, who said he would eat shit, eat a red Solo cup of dog shit if Florida State won. He has deleted his account. He is gone. He is, listen, guy, I part of me feels bad for you, but part of me is also like, listen, you hoisted your own petard on this one, man. There was no reason for you to go ahead and make that declarative statement on a team that was sketch to begin with. And you saw at Georgia Tech, in Ireland against Georgia Tech, you saw the sketchiness, and yet you still decided to make an absurd declarative statement.
Yeah,
that's the bed you made. So now, but here's the thing: the internet is not going to let this go.
No,
like Twitter and the people on there and Reddit and whatever, they are not going to let this go.
Yep.
Like this guy, 321 Knowles, whatever his name is, at 321 Knowles. And I know somebody has a name similar to that now. They kind of like hijacked his thing. It's a troll account now.
Okay.
That he's even declared. He's like, yeah, no, this is a troll account, just letting everybody know, but I'm going to have fun with this. But the actual guy, Godspeed, man. I'm going to be honest with you. It might have been easier just to eat the cup of dog shit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it might have been better just to eat the cup of dog shit than deal with what's going on or what's coming your way. Because the internet never forgets and the internet never forgives. But anyway, college football talk done for now because we got good stuff. Again, Notre Dame's playing Northern. What are there any big games? What are some of the big games coming up?
I don't think it's as loaded as last week.
There were some good games last week. There were really good games.
Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 good games. Well, on paper, I thought the Georgia-Clemson game was going to be good, as well as the West Virginia-Penn State game, but I was wrong.
I was hoping that game was going to be better than it was, but man, you showed me your bets, and I was like, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Yeah. And you were like, yeah, I feel really good about it. I was like, you're buying into the Pat McAfee hype for West Virginia too much. No, I think they're gonna. That was, and I forget what was the second part of it because that was kind of a parlay, right? You had another bet underneath that. What was that?
Yeah, Clemson, Georgia. I had Clemson.
You had Clemson
with the points. Yeah.
I think I remember messaging you. I was like, Clemson's getting the break speed off them right now.
And while you're looking that up, when you sent me that message, I was like, I gotta jump on draft because with DraftKings I could cash out to save some money. By that point, it was fourth quarter, so I couldn't cash out my parlay. I was like, well, you learn from mistakes, I guess. Don't listen to
Dude,
Pat
if you were going to
McAfee.
cash it out, you were only going to get like 4 cents anyway. Like there was no reason to cash that out. There was just no reason for that. Texas and Michigan this week.
Okay, that's right, yeah.
Texas going up to Michigan. That has a chance to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Because now, granted, Texas didn't really play anybody great last week. They blew. I forget who they played. Yeah, some smaller school. I don't know. But they blew them out. And again, well, Michigan played Fresno State, who's not exactly a powerhouse, and struggled. So they are playing at Michigan, but I don't know, man. Texas right now is favored by 4. I would find an alternate spread and hammer that, because I think Texas is going to blow them away.
Yeah, because I mean, it's only that low because they're playing at Michigan, so you probably figure.
And that's it. The home team gets 3 points automatically anyway.
Yeah.
So you're talking about that's still. So Michigan's lost 3 points and now is also lost 4 more on top of that. So the money is going towards Texas, but not nearly enough to make the line move anymore. But I don't know. Again, don't take our advice for this. We're not professional gamblers. Any losses you sustain will be your own. If you have any gambling problems, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Bowling Green at Penn State, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Kansas, Tulane. That might be good. Kansas State, Tulane, I mean. And then the rest are just, we talked about Northern Illinois, Notre Dame, which again, I worry, maybe I've just got trauma. I'm worried about Notre Dame kind of sleepwalking that game. And, I don't even want to think about it. Iowa State, Iowa. And that's about, there's no real other marquee games. Ranked game, Tennessee and NC State.
Okay.
That's something. It's something. Yeah, not nearly anything as juicy, but...
Looks like about two, maybe 3.
What are you going to do? Now, listen, they all can't be home runs.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get to the main event. Let's get to the one thing, the big thing, what everybody's talking about here. The Kansas City Chiefs opening up the NFL season tomorrow. Oh, my God. You can watch it along with us live tomorrow. Me and Jimbo will be live streaming to play-by-play and react to the game. Be great if you joined us. Thank you very much. Follow, like, share, and subscribe. That'll all help us out there as well. Click that little notification bell so that you know when we're hitting the air. It'll be fun for everybody, I'm telling you. What is the spread? I just had it up there. What is the spread? Dead air. Chiefs and Ravens point spread. As you watch us, the thrilling watching us type scene. Well, it's only 3-point spread. Chiefs favored by 3.
Oh, okay. Like, I want to say the Chiefs because I don't want. I want to stick with my, pick the Chiefs till they show you otherwise. But 3 points, I'll go with Baltimore. I think right out of the gate you're going to see how more effective the Ravens' offense is going to be with Derrick Henry back there, a proven heavy hitter runner. What's the over-under? Is there over-under there?
46.5. 46.5.
Okay. So I was going to say it may be a high-scoring game, like 50-plus, but I'll go with Baltimore. I'll take the 3.
I was going to say, I think both teams are going to score more than 23 points. If I'm going to be honest with you. It might be a little less, might be a little more, but I think it'll go there. So that might be something where I do a little sprinkle on the over. I'm not sure. That's a tough one. That 3 is a tough one because I really do. I mean, that Ravens revamped offense, they have something to prove. They're on the road. Derrick Henry is something. But that one part of the Chiefs that nobody ever talks about is the defense. And I think they have a decent enough defense. I think Chris Jones is underrated for as much as some people might think he's properly rated or well appreciated, I think he even might be a little underrated. You know, you don't hear him talked about amongst some of the best in the NFL, and he is one of the best in the NFL. So, not sure how to really quantify that or fix that. But I'm going to be honest. For a lot of the reasons, like you were just saying, like you kind of wanted to vote, pick them, but didn't, everything like that. You know, kind of like last year. Like last year, I felt it. I felt the Lions last year. I picked the Lions last year because I felt it. It just felt like something felt like that was going to be it. This year, it feels like Chiefs to me. It does. Okay. I don't know why. Again, gut feelings, all that kind of stuff. Maybe the Chiefs have. Maybe they're taking this three-peat season kind of like that, loosey-goosey, fancy-free, footloose and fancy-free, as it were. That's just it. And maybe that's what helps them. Maybe that's what kickstarts it to where it's just like, let's just throw shit at the wall, see what happens, and it turns out to be really good shit. Like I don't know, but. Give me the Chiefs. Giving the 3. The over's not an official part of the picks, but if you want to, do a little sprinkle on the over. That's what I would do anyway. I don't know why. I like doing the overs. I like overs more than I like unders. And in the NFL, it's usually a smarter bet to go under.
Yeah. Depending
on the game, it's usually a smarter bet just to go with the under. Usually, if you're going to do that. For some reason, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the over. But that's going to be my pick, is the Chiefs giving the 3. You're picking the Ravens taking the 3.
Yes.
So that is it. Our first very official pick for the 2024 NFL season is in. Jimbo, I'm excited.
Makes week 1 official with those picks. Start of week 1.
Yeah, we're here. Dude, we're here. It is not. We've been saying we're here for like a month. Just saying we're here. Like when training camp got here, we're like, we're here, man. We made it. We're here. This is it. We've made it. We're here. And then it's like, first preseason game happened. Jimbo, we're here. Oh man, we're seeing there's people in uniform. We're actually here. We made it. And then training camp is over, and it's like, oh, this is it. We're in the bye week before the season. We're just 2 weeks. We've made it. We are here. We had the first 60-degree day, and we're like, we're here. We made it. We made it. And now here we are, about 27 hours away, whatever it is, and we're still sitting here like, we made it. We made it. And then you know what's going to happen? We're going to live stream the game tomorrow, and we're going to sit here. We're going to open the show, and we're going to be, hey, guys, we made it.
We made it.
But we're here. We did. We made it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. If you liked what you saw, why? I don't know, but thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe, share us around like herpes. That would be fantastic. If you want to go ahead and give us, little donation station, QR code is right over there. Link is down in the doodly-doo as well. Merch store over there. Link is down there too. You can buy some stuff. It's really cool stuff. Show your football pride. And hey, listen, hoodie weather is coming. Big on the hoodies there in the store. So go get that right now, today. Jimbo, any last words for the ladies and gentlemen out there watching?
No, just make sure you guys tune into our live streams of us calling the games. Definitely going to be fun, especially the Philadelphia Eagles, New York Giants games when they play each other.
Yeah, when that gets in a later season, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
So, until then, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. For your good friend Jimbo right over there, I am your boy King. We will see you tomorrow for the NFL.